How is everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Sarah Huckabee Sanders wrecking Jim Acosta, CNN, and the entire mainstream media in just under 90 seconds. But before we get to that video, I need to kind of tee it up for you so you understand what's happening to get a little bit more context. Donald Trump has said before that the media is the enemy of the people. This is something that we pretty much all know, but we'll get to that in a moment. So Jim Acosta is trying to interrupt, overtalk people to get Sarah Huckabee Sanders to refute that claim from Trump. He's trying over and over again, but he was not very successful. And you'll see what Sarah Huckabee Sanders said here, and it was fantastic. So after we get done with the clip, I'll talk about that and also some reasons why I agree with what was said in the clip. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Jim?
I just wanted to follow up on Sarah's question from NPR. She asked you about Ivanka Trump's statement that the press is not the enemy of the people. And she asked you whether or not the press is the enemy of the people. You read off a laundry list of your concerns about the press and things that you feel like are misreported, but you did not say that the press is not the enemy of the people. And I think it would be a good thing if you were to say right here at this briefing that the press, the people who are gathered in this room right now, doing their jobs every day, asking questions of officials like the ones you brought forward earlier, are not the enemy of the people. I think we deserve that.
I think the president has made his position known. I also think it's ironic.
Would you mind telling us,
I'm
Sarah,
trying to answer your question.
Okay, well,
I politely waited, and I even called on you despite the fact that you interrupted me while calling on your colleague. Well, I said it's ironic.
Which is why I interrupted.
I'm trying.
But if you finish, if you would not mind letting me have a follow-up, that would be fine. But
it's ironic, Jim, that not only you and the media attack the president for his rhetoric when they frequently lower the level of conversation in this country.
Correct.
Repeatedly, the media resorts to personal attacks without any content other than to incite anger.
Yep.
The media has attacked me personally on a number of occasions, including your own network, said I should be harassed as a life sentence, that I should be choked. ICE officials are not welcomed in their place of worship, and personal information is shared on the internet. When I was hosted by the Correspondents Association, of which almost all of you are members of, you brought a comedian up to attack my appearance and call me a traitor to my own gender. In fact, as I know, as far as I know, I'm the first press secretary in the history of the United States that's required Secret Service protection.
Correct.
The media continues to ratchet up the verbal assault against the president and everyone in this administration, and certainly we have a role to play, but the media has a role to play for the discourse in this country as well.
All right, so you see what's happening there. You see what's going on. Now, that was fantastic. That was beautiful. That was an epic teardown by Sarah Huckabee Sanders because everything she said was correct, and there wasn't really much Jim Acosta could do to kind of counteract what she said because, I mean, how can you? First of all, what she said about the media attacking her personally, I mean, that was dead on accurate. I mean, we all saw what happened at the dinner, whatever that was. I forget what she said it was, but you know what that was. That dinner where they go roast people or whatever the case may be. They brought that woman, Michelle Wolf, to go in there and talk about Sarah Huckabee Sanders in a negative way. It was even some racial stuff in there because she was like, what's the white female version of her Uncle Tom? It was like, so basically saying somebody like me being a black person speaking against so-called progressive values is anti-black, the same way Sarah Huckabee Sanders speaking against so-called progressive values is anti-women. So not only did she diss Sarah Huckabee Sanders and women who think like her in that particular moment, she also dissed blacks who think the same way a person like myself would think. You know, like progressive values seem to be the only thing that really matter. This is what the media tells you, that progressive values are the only thing that matter, which is why they are, in many cases, the enemy of the people. They sow dissent and they sow malcontent among the people. This is very obvious. We all know this happens. Just like the whole situation going on with the border and family separation and ICE agents. Let's talk about ICE agents first. Most people, the average normie out there in the street, just walking, talking, chewing gum, eating chicken biscuits or whatever, they had no idea who ICE were. nor did they have an opinion about them because it didn't know who they were. But all of a sudden, now you've seen all type of, disband ICE, abolish ICE, all these people talking about ICE in their regular everyday conversation when that conversation did not exist until the media told them that ICE is this bad organization that cannot be trusted. They are racist. They are hateful. Brown people are the enemy of ICE. All these different things. When the average person, if you were to ask them what does ICE stand for, the person that's out there protesting or whatever, they wouldn't even know. They wouldn't even know that ICE stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and they wouldn't even really know what they're doing. A prime example of how the media influences people that are kind of just naive and don't understand what's going on that impacts society in a negative way is when you had these people, I think it was in Oakland, California, if I'm wrong about this, let me know in the box. But these people were protesting ICE as they were raiding a home, but the home they were raiding was suspected in a child sex ring. So you're protesting against ICE. You don't even know what they're about or what they're doing. This is what the media does. And then the whole thing about family separation. I mean, come on. We all saw that video that I posted on my channel where CNN, ironically enough, had this fake family reunification. And then the crazy part about it was not the fact that it was obviously fake. I mean, that was pretty much established. Obviously, when you have this so-called mother going towards the so-called son, there was no affection. There was no nothing. You could tell these people probably didn't even know each other. It was obviously fake. She was mic'd up. If you're coming there to reunify with your child, why are you wearing a microphone? For what reason are you doing that? Why is it in the airport? Why are the cameras there? What's really going on? This does not seem to be real. It was pretty obviously fake. But people who were on that thread, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or whatever, were actually believing it. They were saying, oh, the little boy's just shocked because he's been away from his mom for a long time. They've been separated for 1 month, according to what CNN said in his article. Allegedly separated for 1 month. You don't have that type of non-interaction between people who've only been gone from each other for about a month. That's not normal. And then some random man came in with a little girl. They're supposed to be brother and sister. It was really weird. It was awkward. But again, the average normie does not even understand this is going on. They just take CNN for face value and all these other organizations that want to speak against anything conservative, anything dealing with Trump, his cabinet, or whoever. They just think that it's automatically bad, and they put a negative spin or outright false story out there to further push their personal political points of view. This is what happens. These so-called journalists are more like activists nowadays, and this is causing a lot of problems in society because the average person, again, they don't understand politics. The regular everyday Joe, the most they may do is watch the news occasionally, and then they are on their phone looking at Facebook, seeing what their grandbaby or whoever is dating. All they do is get little bits of information and they take that in, and the media knows that. That's how the media is able to control you. That's how they're able to control the narrative. So Trump was right. Sarah Huckabee Sanders was right. Jim Acosta is just triggered. He's just butthurt because he keeps getting wrecked by Trump, by Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and many people that were in the ABL live show. Shout out to y'all. You know who you are. This past Wednesday, we're talking about it. It's like, at this point, he's like a whipping boy. He's a martyr for the mainstream media. Jim Acosta, that is. They know he's going to get abused. They know that, well, not abused. They know that he's going to get raped. They know that he's going to try to make himself appear to be a victim of abuse from a Trump administration. And then that kind of plays into their hand. But at a certain point, the truth has to be told. It doesn't matter if CNN wants Jim Acosta to look a certain way. You got to tell the truth. And the truth is that the media is sowing so much malcontent in the public. They got to get called out for it. It's not about trying to attack the press or deny the right to the press. Nah, it's about stop making up lies and stop trying to cause dissent between people. Let's come together as one and unify. That should be the actual moral of the story here, is that the media does not have the best interest of the people at heart. And as I close, I want to say shout out to Sarah Huckabee Sanders for standing her ground and not allowing these people to bully her into believing what they want her to believe. If you want to believe that progressive values are a good thing, then go for it. If you want to just fall off the edge of the cliff, then be my guest. But don't bully others into believing what you want to believe, and don't put out fake stuff, false stuff, especially when you have a high elevation and a high visibility, and you know people will pretty much believe what you say because they trust you. So what do you think? Do you think that Sarah Huckabee Sanders was correct here about everything she said in that particular rebuttal against Jim Acosta? If so, please explain to me why. Or do you think that she was incorrect? Do you think that Trump should apologize for the media is the enemy of the people remark? If you think that way, please explain to me why. And whatever other comments you have, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.